Scorpio, welcome to your intimate tarot reading. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. If you're new to the channel, you'd like to know why I read intimate tarot, specifically sexual energy, it will be outlined for you in the description box. Heads up. If you're that person who is sensitive around the topics of sexual energy, sexual identification, or descriptions that run along that particular vein, go ahead and feel free to pass this message up. I won't be offended. Don't watch anything that would cause you conflict with yourself, who you are, what you believe, whatever. Because you will take nothing from it except perhaps frustration for yourself and for me, and you didn't have to watch it, so you can avoid all that. Don't watch anything that comes into conflict. I understand this message type isn't for everybody. I understand, I respect that. No big deal. Okay? Most people watch intimate tarot because they want to learn something about themselves, their sexual energy specifically. Sometimes it's individual, one-off, singular energy. Sometimes it's sexual energy that's just developing in a new relationship. Is it there? Is it not there? And the same is true for relationships that have been established for decades. That question still comes up. You're never too old to learn something about yourself. No matter how well established it is, been there, done that, energy shifts and changes and we discover ourselves. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I read intimate tarot, is because people often undermine their own sexual energy. They insist it doesn't mean anything, or they know, or they assume they know what it's all about, until it comes under conflict or question. And then, oh boy, do we start getting real curious about it. So, the more you know. And that's true for any tarot type. All that aside, P.S. Happy birthday. We entered our season. Yay! Feels good. Feels good, doesn't it? If you're one of my early Scorpios, October Scorpios, happy birthday to you. I hope you had a fantastic birthday. And for those of you upcoming, I hope it's awesome. Celebrate it with good people, family, friends, and the people who love and celebrate you the way you are, as you are. Okay? All right. And then all that aside, take it resonates, leave it does not. Okay? These are general collective reads, not one-to-one private, which is to say they may or may not resonate. If they don't at all, perfectly normal. Check your other placements. You will find yourself in there somewhere. Okay? All right. We're going to start with an oracle overview. This is by the same people who made the Tarot Deck of Sexual Magic. Okay? This is its oracle companion. It's still relatively new. What's going on, please? Passion. Plain and simple. Passion. What about it? Are you feeling it? Feeling a little passionate lately. And don't get me wrong, you can be passionate just in and of yourself. I mean, I identify as someone who is a very passionate person. That's just who I am. I'm driven. I'm goal-oriented. That in and of itself is passion orientation. So some of you just might be feeling it very strongly right now. You're feeling a certain spike and certain enthusiasm, a certain drive, forward momentum, or just straight up sexual passion, which is great too, hey? Hey, what's going on? Let's take a look-see at you. What's up? It's like I'm feeling it. Good, I want you to. I hope you do, Sex, of course, as you know, or you should know, as a developed Scorpio, our sex is probably our most famous thing known about the Scorpio sign, which is unfortunate because we have so much other things going for us. But of course, everybody fixates on sex and death. And I get it. Transformation, sex and death, and the cycle, life and death cycle, I got it. But yeah, we're really well known for that sex. Yeah. What are you going to do? It's hard being a sexually powerful creature. What's going on, please? Show me that Scorpio sexual energy. Show me that Scorpio sexual energy. Show me that Scorpio sexual energy. What's going on? Show me that Scorpio sexual energy. Now, I grant you, let's talk about that real quick. The difference between a developed and underdeveloped Scorpio and their sexuality. An underdeveloped Scorpio will take their sex power of sex, and just pretty much try to everything, okay? A developed Scorpio understands and appreciates that their sex is meant to take them to a higher plane of existence. In and of itself, it's meant to be a transformative experience, okay? That's one of the reasons why we're so emotionally loyal, is that a developed Scorpio who puts their heart exclusively into one person, also to their sex. So it's a very strong trust bond system. So of course, naturally, Scorpio's biggest issue is trust issues. There's always a balance system in nature, in life, in the signs, in power. I say it all the time. Nobody should be surprised by this. If you have a superpower, you have a kryptonite. 100%. If you have a pro, you have a con. You cannot have one without the other. So there you go. So develop Scorpio. Your heart and your sex go hand in hand. And the bigger your heart you have for somebody, oh boy, that sex drive for them is crazy. All the best of your strengths pointed at one person, and that can be really intimidating, right? So that's why your trust filters have to be high. But an underdeveloped Scorpio, they'll just go around trying to mate with everybody, and they're just giving their power away, and it's so unfortunate. But it does happen. Yeah, that's what your 20s are for. Yeah, there you go. Show me that Scorpio collective energy. Show me that Scorpio collective energy. Show me that Scorpio collective energy, please. Show me that Scorpio. But it's like, well, I don't know about like Christina. I'm just feeling passionate right now. I'm really into my painting right now. It could be. And if that's true, that's beautiful too. Express yourself. Okay. Let's see what's going on. 4 of Wands. 2 of Wands. Ew. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that is. But, you know, you've been thinking about relationships lately. That's cool. It seems to be something that you're keeping to yourself. But you are looking at relationships casually. Thinking about it. You're contemplating it. Making decisions about relationships. Should you advance something? Should you move forward in it? Assessing your comfort level in it. Is this where you want to be? So you've taken a couple steps back. And you are actively looking at some sort of relationship structure. What you're trying to discern about it or think about it, I don't know. But it's kind of like, is this where I'm at? Is this a good level for me? Do I want to continue on in this? There's some sort of decision making here, but you're not rushed. You're not fussed about it, but you are thinking about some sort of relationship energy here. Okay, fine. This is normal. I don't know why you're looking at it, but we'll see. Ace of Swords, you have a particular truth attached to you right now. But you do know you want your relationships to be fair, sexually, emotionally, and otherwise, right? Cool. What is this? I don't know what this is. It's like saying I'm turned on for Scorpio, but I can't back it up. Why am I seeing them? What? Are they afraid to have a hard-on for you? Like, what? Why is this person avoiding the Ace of Wands? Because that is active avoidance. 7 of Swords and the Ace of Wands. What is it, honey? Too hot in that kitchen for you? Like, what? It's a little too hot in that kitchen. You can't handle it. I don't know why I'm saying that. Why am I saying that? That's active avoidance. That flame's too hot. I don't think I can handle that. Well, I got news for you, baby. You can't handle it. Don't. Bye. See? No conflict. Don't step up if you can't keep up. End of story. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I'll clarify it and I'll see a bunch of stuff, I know, but that just makes me sad. It's sad because it's kind of cowardly in that respect of, no. That's what that is. That's that person who's looking at, because I've compared us to roller coasters all the time. I mean, it's not that it's not true. It is, kind of. We're kind of a sexy, thrilling, oh my God, this could kill me ride. And what part of that isn't true? For real. So I don't know. So when they're looking at that roller coaster and they're like, oh, I bet that's exciting. Oh boy, I'm gonna not go there. Okay. So, you know, it's like we say all the time, honey, if you buy the ticket, you got to take the ride, and they're not buying the ticket. They like to look at the ticket. They like to imagine buying the ticket. They like to imagine taking the ride. But when it comes to actually doing it, no. So, I don't know if you're contemplating a relationship with this person, because I can tell you right now, honey, they ain't got the conviction. I don't know that they had the conviction. Because I see you in future strength, Ace of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. You are gravitating towards an offer you can actually take seriously with a certain strength of will. And it's like, the next offer I get needs to have some conviction behind it. They, in other words, not be like cowardly. They need to be a little more strong-willed. So like if they make an offer, they know they're making it. It's an offer that's coming from a conscientious place. So it's like they know they're offering it. They know what they're getting into. They know they want to take the ride, and they do so with strength too. It's like, so if you want to accept an offer, you can actually feel good about because there's confidence behind it. This is confidence as well as realistic. This is anti-confidence and anti-realistic. It's so small though. So I don't know why they're there. Let's take a look at your Ace of Swords. That might be why you're contemplating a relationship. It's like something about you knows that this person's a little more like jelly. It, you know, what back in the day, I think in the 50s, they called it nervous pudding. They're like nervous pudding. You know, you give it a little knock and it starts to wobble. And you're like, do I want nervous pudding? I'm kind of a strong writer. I could break that. That's kind of what you're saying. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? If you know, I it's just kind of like your energy might be very strong, and it's like I could break that, Christina. I don't know if I want a relationship with it because I kind of write hard. It is what it is, you know. Ace of Swords, some of the Ace of Swords, please. So I'm having fun with this now, and I know I'm going to see some deeper shit, but I just, if you're contemplating a relationship with this person, is this person relationship material? Yeah, well, you know, it's you very much desiring a stronger offer, one that you can really take pride in, and you know that if you take a ride with them, that you're not going to hurt them, or break them, or scare them, you know? It's, yeah, I'd kind of hold out for the same, too. It's like, you don't seem like you're up for this ride. You just, you know, you don't seem like, I just don't think, honey, you got, I don't think you got it in you. Okay. Ace of Swords, some of the Ace of Swords, some of the Ace of Swords. And that's fine. If that's where they are, just do yourself a favor, cut them loose. Let's see your truth here as you best understand it. Ace of Swords, please. Some of the Ace of Swords, some of the Ace of Swords. Ace of Pentacles, there it is again. The Six of Pentacles, Justice. You do any offers you say, not only do they have to be real and legitimate, it's like sexual energy aside, Christina, practically speaking. If I entertain any offers, they need to be fair with justice, right? We have a huge emphasis here on fairness. The Justice as well as the Six of Pentacles. So this is balance. In terms of sexual balance, it has to spiritually feel correct to you because, again, our sex is meant to take us to a higher place. So it's meant to feel balanced within you, around you, ground you. You know you want all this from a realistic offer. And you also say you want it to be fair, okay? You want a strong offer, but one that's fair for the both of you. And you want that in your spiritual energy, you want that in your sexual energy, and you also want that in your realistic 3D energy. In other words, you know, you don't just want to be sexually attracted to it today. You want to be sexually attracted to it how long from now? So in other words, longevity. The real deal is what you're looking at. You know this to be a solid truth. Abide by your truth and you will always be successful. Ace of Swords, okay? You also saying you want something strong, viable, reliable, right? You know that if you have sex with it tonight, it's going to be with there tomorrow and they're going to offer you that same good loving, okay? So we want that consistent pentacle. I almost switched up the word pentacle with something else, but you understand what I meant. And yeah, but you want it to be fair, practical, reliable, but also, yes, very fulfilling as well, substantial. And you're looking at long-term game here, long-term energy, not short-term. And any offer that comes your way, you're saying, I'm going to critically look at it. And I think that's why I'm seeing you pause to look at this proposed relationship energy in that, do you want to continue on with it? Because you're emphasizing to me strength, strong. It has to be strong and you know it and that you can rely upon it and that it shows up consistently because you're going to put your best into it. So you also want to receive it. You want it to be a fair exchange of best. Okay. And a strong, consistent offer, sexually or otherwise. You want it to show up over and over again. In other words, is it a relationship, you know? And let's see what you conclude about this because I'm not going to lie, honey, that looks like a nervous pudding. It a little shake and it's going to wobble. I don't know. And you're showing me you don't want that to wobble? You want something Dare I use the word stiff? Stand up and be accounted for? Consistently strong? You know, that ride you can take over and over again? That kind of thing. 2 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, some of that. Some of that 2 of Wands and the 4 of Wands, please. Show that 2 of Wands and the 4 of Wands. Let's do one more. Some of that 2 of Wands and the 4 of Wands, please. King of Wands, 9 of Cups, Ace of Wands. Baby, you got so much passion burning in you. It's the Oracle freaking nailed it, bro, sis. That's what you're looking at. So, bless you, you're showing me a lovely sense of solid self. Yes, you want the real deal, reality, strong offer. That seems to be non-negotiable. But you're saying it needs to be consistent. Consistent, strong offer. Also, P.S., you got lots of passion on you, as discussed. It's burning inside you. You're feeling it. Ace of Wands, 9 of Cups, and the King of Wands. Whatever constitutes that relationship, not only do you want it to be square, solid, and real, reliable, but it needs to be returned in force. So you're saying you have certain expectations in your mind that are... all you're telling me is that you know what you want. Yeah, look at that King of Wands. He's very warm, embracing. 9 of Cups. This is wish fulfillment. As you love someone else, you love yourself. As you love yourself, you love this other person. And that's the idea for you. Is this person going to meet this criteria? And the Ace of Wands, it's burning so bright in you. It's beautiful. It's almost scorching to look at. And it's not romanticized. It's not fantasy. You legitimately have these feelings inside you. You're not showing me any romanticism here and that sense of fantasy or dreaminess. You honestly expect this. So that tells me you do know what you want. And you very much want to throw that love and that sex on somebody. So again, that Scorpio energy is all in here, you know. I have huge sex for the person I attach myself to. But with that comes a huge responsibility to love it, maintain it, and commit to it, right? A developed Scorpio knows this. And you're looking at a relationship. All right, Ace of Wands. Is this what I want? Is this what I want? So you got an Ace of Wands, they're looking at it, but 7 of Swords, so that makes me nervous. Their nervousness is making me nervous. Okay. And so you got to figure out when you're looking at this, are they offering this? Can they sustain that passion? Because it looks warm. And you're saying it feels good. Can it sustain? Because you made that very clear to me. Sustaining is a core point to you. Is it sustainable? Can I commit to this, and will it commit to me back? And if so, you know, I'll love it hard every day. All the time. As much as it needs, or I need. Is it going to give back? So here we're assessing this. We're assessing this. Is this a relationship? Is it a relationship? Is it going to be consistent? Because, honey, you got passion inside you, but then there's that truth. There's that solid truth that's also non-negotiable. You're like, yeah, I'm burning for this, but is that a sustainable torch? Is that sustainable? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I'm so nervous. Oh, boy. Ace of Wands, 7 of Swords. Man, your energy, though, looks really good. It knows itself really well. And if that's true, and you assess this relationship, if it goes further, and if it doesn't, the Scorpio I'm looking at, you should know yourself well enough to know that you have to decline this, or that you can accept it. Okay? Let's take a look at that Ace of Wands and the 7 of Swords. The Sun, the High Priestess, the 4 of Wands. They telling me they want to open up to a relationship. So they're sharing a lot of fire with you. They are. And intuitively they feel relationship energy with you as well, with the 4 of Wands. Will they stick around? They like the warmth. They feel it with you. They also have relationship energy surrounding them that intuitively suggests this could be the real deal. But they're nervous. They can't figure out if they're supposed to stay put in this or not. And I think part of you knows this. Because as you assess the relationship, you kind of get that vibe from them, don't you? They're full of heat and passion just like you. But you have a truth. Is this a long-term investment? They feel the warmth of it. The Sun, High Priestess, the Four of Wands. You're both thinking about relationships. You're both thinking about that Ace of Wands. The only difference here is that you're assessing them from a more realistic point of view about whether or not they are relationship ready. Can they invest like that? Is this something that you should be investing in? And they're like, I don't know if I can commit to this forever. I feel like I should. I feel like I should make a relationship out of this, but I don't know that I personally can. So they have some nervousness here and self-doubt with that Seven of Swords. How critical it is or how detrimental it is, I don't know. Let's keep going. You know? I hate it when people talk themselves out of it, and this is where something is so beautiful. They inherently feel it. They inherently feel that they know it's theirs. But their real world self, in terms of the mentality, is breaking off and talking themselves out of it. And I see shit like this all the time. When something feels so right that it almost puts somebody off. It almost feels too right, and they can't quote-unquote handle it yet, or they're not prepared for it. Then they end up rejecting it even though it feels right. If someone's not mentally prepared, then they're not mentally prepared. That's how you know the difference between someone who's, say, ready to quit smoking and not. Someone who is really mentally prepared to quit smoking will. Someone who isn't will set a date, but they don't really mean it, and they'll do well for a couple of days or two, and then they relapse. So this is that person who feels like they should be ready for this, but then they pull back, and then they're like, I'm not so sure. And where their Seven of Swords comes from, that's their particular backstory. Let's see the strength, please. You end up losing something. You end up losing something. I feel like this is mine. I feel like it's for me, but I'm going to lean away from it. You know? Then you end up shooting yourself in the foot, and then you look back on it 5 years from now, it's like, fuck, why did I do that? It was right then, and I talked myself out of it. I was too scared, I was too afraid. Because it sucks. If they were listening to their intuition, they would see that when they're with you, how their energy unfolds in such a way that says it's not just warm, it's happy. There's that Ace of Wands, and when you experience it, you can feel the love, you can feel the warmth, okay? You can feel the wish fulfillment, but you still contemplate the relationship. It tells me you're not convinced. You want to be, but you're not convinced. Let's see that strength, please. Show me that strength, show me that strength, show me that strength, because I'll take you back to your point numero uno, Ace of Swords. Solid and fair. Passion's important, you're saying, but it needs to be solid too. Strength. Show me that strength, please. Show me that strength. The Empress, the Five of Wands, the King of Swords. Yeah, as it's time to get closer and closer to that idea of we taking this forward, someone is sure, the other person has become cold. Okay. When it's time for these two folks to have more strength to commit to their goals, and what are we doing here exactly? Somebody's starting to become more sure of who they are, and the other person's talking themselves out of what they want. And at some point, you two hit that defining line. This is what this means to me. And they're like, mm-mm. And they start to go cold. And the sexual frustration starts to build up as somebody goes cold. The other person becomes more resplendent because they become more confident about what they want. And the other person starts to shut down, talk themselves out of it, withdraw emotions. The warmth is gone for one person. It starts to get cold when it starts to get real. I've seen this shit map out before. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles, please. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles. So if you're that Empress, you need to know what your worth is, and don't forget it. You're supposed to be strong and self-empowered. So if you're sensing this person withdraw because it's starting to get real, it's time to make good on this offer. This is where I'm at. Where are you? Let's start defining shit. Passion's great. We have great sex. Okay, now, where's this going? It's defining time. It's that time. Somebody starts to get cold and shut down and resists it. The other person says, I'm good where I am. Where are you? Okay, let's see that Ace of Pentacles, please. Show me that Ace of Pentacles. The Empress in Sexual Tarot is all about that exclusivity. I am who I am because I know who I am and I'm very comfortable with me. And I'm looking for the person, my mate, the ideal mate. That's why I can hang around my house half naked, because I'm comfortable with who I am. And I only share this with one other person, just one. So she's all about sexual and emotional exclusivity. Only one person can access her, and it's who she chooses as her equal. And you're saying, somebody here is saying, I expect to choose my equal. Are you my equal? You know the words, are we exclusive? Let's take a look at that Ace of Pentacles. 3 of Wands, 4 of Cups, Death. You said no. You called it. I'm sorry, you called it. You just called it. You called it. You knew. You knew. Bless you, honey. When it's on with this person, the passion's ridiculous. It's stupid, right? It's sexy. It's fulfilling. It's warm. And it's going to be that kind. And honey, this is that kind of passion that feels like that passion. It's not sex. It surpasses sex. But sex is mechanical. You could have that with anybody, anywhere, anytime. I could throw a rock out my window, hit somebody, and be like, hey, you want to have sex? That's how mechanical sex can be. It's easy, it's cheap, and it means nothing when it's sex. Then there's passion. That requires more investment because the chemistry is real. Okay. Chemistry can be really real, and it cuts so hot it burns, right? And that's a feeling you get from the inside on the outside. And when they touch you, it just, oh my God, it takes you to a place that you can't even describe. It is so person specific. That passion can be so driven. And it's so specific, right? It's so heat induced. And you can't, and you find that and you associate with that one person. And that's why I hear it all the time. No one ever made me feel like that. When they touched me, it was like nothing else. That's the passion. There's no guarantee that it will sustain. That's the tricky part. That's why you kept emphasizing back to that main point. Ace of Swords, is this the real deal? Because I don't want to get my hopes attached to this if I call it a relationship. Because something about you looked at them and said they got nervous pudding. They got that heat. They got that feeling of the creator or the muse. One of you is a creator, the other one's the muse. And it creates that chemical cocktail that says, I am in this, and I will fuck you up, right? And then there's making love. That is where you have both the passion as well as the love behind it. And it's much softer, but intimate. Much more intimate. Much more intimate than passion is. Passion says you're willing to push your body in a certain way for that person because it just, that chemical cocktail, like I said, puts you in that position of I would do things with you I would never do with anyone else. That's how hard that chemistry hits. But making love is different. It's intimacy of the heart and sex at the same time. And it's precious. It's precious. It's intimacy in another way. The deeper way. What I'm seeing here is passion, not making love. You know that. I know you two had some really wild adventures. And they did buy the ticket. But they can't commit to the ticket. They like to roller coaster a lot. But they can't stay there. There's a part of them that knows this. They know that they're good for the ride a couple of times. That's why we were assessing from a distance point of view. Is this a relationship? Because you said it feels good. When I rip your clothes off, oh boy, I mean it. It feels really good to me, you're saying. I really like this a lot. But here's the thing, you didn't show me manifestation. Which is clever. It's good. That tells me you didn't know exclusively that you should be manifesting this. You're just like, I'm enjoying it for what it is, because how it presents itself is very strong and it's very bold. And it burns bright. But there's no soul bond here. No contracts. Other than the one that you would commit to. And that's the Ace of Pentacles, and that's a contract that was pending. You wanted to know if this was a contract. That's why it was pending. Is this a relationship? So part of you knew. Part of you knew. You said you waited long enough for them to make a valid offer. They can't or they won't. And the more you try to push the subject for definition, and by the way, I completely agree with you. You have to know where the other person stands. At some point, it's got to come up, right? I don't know if you have been with this person a month or a year. At some point, you cross the line of conversation, and it has to happen. How else do you know if you're supposed to progress? How else do you know if you're supposed to commit to it? How else do you know if you can put your whole self into it, your mind, your spirit, all those things that Scorpio is known for committing to? Heart, committed. Time, energy, and effort, committed. Sex, committed. And it got to that point, honey, under strength right here. I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. Can you offer me what I'm worth? They went cold and combative. They didn't cut it off, but they went combative. In other words, they were still trying to stay to this, stick to it without committing to it. But it came combative, and then the sexual tension started to build up as they withdrew and became cold. I don't know. It's funny, I don't see any low functioning, what you would call player energy. Okay. I see somebody here who knows intuitively that they are supposed to bond to this in terms of a relationship, but the part of them that is insecure or not fully developed or is uncertain is hijacking the whole experience, and that's unfortunate because even their intuition's telling them, hey, stupid, you should probably have a relationship with Scorpio. It's the real deal. And if you don't, you'll be shooting yourself in the foot. It looks like they opted to shoot themselves in the foot. I'm so sorry. But you can't control other people. So I actually quite very much respect your approach in this. You enjoyed it. You experienced it for what it was. You observed quietly the relationship. Am I investing all myself into this or not? Because they're kind of giving me vibes that while they are passionate, crazy, stupid for me, they may not be able to do much more. And you suspected that back here when you were casually looking at this relationship without putting pressure on it. You know, somebody said, I don't remember who, it was a brilliant quote about basic human observation. If you want to know what someone else would rather do, let them do it and raise no objections, and then you will know what they would rather do. I think you kind of let this person have room to define for themselves what they would rather do. To put more of themselves into this or not. So you let them do what they'd rather do, and they'd rather become cold and shut it down and become combative as opposed to giving more. And so again, you let somebody else's actions speak for them, or you let that other person speak for themselves. All you can do is say, this is where I stand. What say ye? This is what I feel. What do you feel? And if someone becomes cold, twist it, change the subject, they can't talk about it, won't define it, refuse to participate, give you some bullshit on the surface answer, then you'd know what they'd rather do. You can't, it kills me, honey. Don't think I don't get it. And here's what's interesting to me. You didn't show me anything other than disappointment. 4 of Cups. So that kind of tells me you're more of a developed Scorpio. I'm going to let this speak for itself after I declare myself. And what happens, I'll take it as it hits. But you said I did wait long enough, and I gave them plenty of room to give me an answer. You did. I saw it. I saw you distance yourself from this. It's like I gave them plenty of room to give an answer. I said, this is my side of the gig. What are you doing? And you gave them room to express themselves. I completely agree with everything you did. And then you're like, okay, this is enough time. You still don't know what you're doing. You're still being cold. You went from being warm, sexy, passionate, crazy to someone who's cold and distant, acts like they don't care, but won't really call it quits either. Somewhere in that little middle ground of, I don't really want to let this go, but I don't want to fully participate in it. And this is why it sucks, man. Even their intuition is like, hey, stupid. Do you want to have a relationship with this? Your intuition's telling you, hey, okay, this thing with Scorpio, it's actually legit. You want to try that out? You want to try it out? You want to try it out? No? You're going to be scared? Okay. You saw that. This offer isn't good enough for you. What did you open up with, guys? Harken back to your beginning, yes? This truth that you were so aware of. Any offer you get has to be stable, reliable, fair, and spiritually correct for you both. Sexually and otherwise. And consistent. You have other priorities here other than smoking hot passion. And honey, let me tell you, this is smoking hot passion. I'm telling you. You did things to this person they can't even begin to describe, and vice versa. But you can't make nervous pudding have a spine. They're not ready. I don't know if this person's a commitment phobe. I don't know if this person doesn't trust themselves. I don't know if this person only knows how to form attachments via passion and not through their heart. That's true as well. Perhaps this is an underdeveloped fire sign. Underdeveloped fire signs form attachments through their passion, but they never really learn through their heart. They learn through their sex. I don't know. It kind of feels like that, but it doesn't have to be. But it just sucks, man. Even their intuition's like, relationship. This one's a keeper. This one's a keeper. Man, they got all fired up. All fired up. Look at that. More fire energy right here with your 9 of Cups. This makes me feel good. I do. Feel good with this. I do. You make me feel good. You make me feel things I haven't felt in a long time. But are you real? Are you real? Because I know what I'm worth. What do you want? And there's the conclusion. You know, the offer's not good enough. Or it's not correct, or it's just not for you. So know what your worth is. That way you know how to decline offers and know how to accept them. Everybody thinks they know what a good offer is and that they would know how to accept it. Wrong. You have to be dicked around, fucked around, etc. in order to understand what is correct and not. That's why I tell people all the time, you have to know what your worth is. Otherwise, you don't know what you're accepting and you don't know what you're rejecting. This person has an idea of what they're accepting, but they don't actually understand how they're rejecting it. And this is what happens with poor insight from experiences, not learning. You don't know what you're giving up because you don't really understand how you're participating. You just know that you want it and desire it, but you don't know why. And you refuse to ask yourself. So when you don't ask yourself, you're just going to go cold and shut down and say it's the other person's fault. I was fine. No, you weren't. You were never on board with yourself from the beginning, even while you were engaging with it, because it felt so damn good. But you didn't know why. And this is why I read sexual energy. This person's sexual game is strong. But you know that. You know that. Their sexual game is strong, honey. But they're not good for much else. And don't get me wrong, honey. You ever seen Witches of Eastwick? I say it all the time. That character, that uptight, fussy, older lady character, she says, I have nothing against a good fuck. And I'm the same. I have nothing against a good fuck. And that's a good one. That's a good one. But it has nowhere to go. It's a useless book, but it's a good one. It's a good one, but it's not a sustaining book. Big difference between a man or a woman who can sustain it versus one who can't. So yeah, they got big fire energy, honey. They got that big D, BDE. What's the women's version? Big tit energy, BTE, Yeah, it's that curse for the person who's got that big energy. They don't know what to do with it. Not really. Not for the long term. Anyway. All right. 6 of Wands. Yeah, that passion's no joke, honey. No joke. But you're saying also, P.S., I'm stable, and I expect the person I connect to in the long term is stable as well. That's why you're hanging back looking at the relationship energy. Is it stable? Is it going to grow? you know. If people counted their relationship in forms of orgasms, you'd have a really strong idea. Right? You think you would. This how many orgasms I have. This means how strong this relationship is. Nah. No. It confuses people. That's why you got to understand your sexual energy better. Oh. Just because you know how to slay it and lay it doesn't mean you know how to keep it, honey. And that's the difference between passion and making love. You know. That's the difference between we're dating and this is going somewhere. Somebody don't know how to keep that game. Probably because they're looking at relationship through the lens of the game. And that's the first mistake. Let's see that Six of Wands, please. Ace of Cups, and there you are, blazing your trail into something more. You're back on point. Wow. This is, you're a Scorpio. Beautiful, by the way. Congratulations to you. You're a Scorpio that's in so much alignment. It's ridiculous. You know what you want. You're sticking to that particular script. Good job. I mean that. Look at my face. Good job. I have never seen somebody say, this is what I want, and then stick to the script when they are presented with, this is not my script. It was fun. I had lots of fun with you. Unfortunately, you do not enhance my life path. You are not sticking to the script that I need to see in my life, and that's stability. And you're saying the sex is great, but I need emotional development. Yes, I agree. I want the new love that I can emotionally harmonize with and expand into something greater. You're telling me you're a priority, Scorpio. You have values in place. You likely have a family of your own already that's fully extended, and you're concerned about emotional equilibrium. So whatever this is presented itself as personal pleasure for you. You're just like, I have other things, though, that I have to expand into, and whoever commits to me has to expand into that as well. Again, you opened up with that Six of Pentacles. There it is. Because emotional equilibrium is a priority to you, as well as stability. Having the fullness of heart for that emotional equilibrium is a priority. In other words, they need to have the same goals as you. So it's like, I'm all about that pentacle. So thank you very much. You gave me a lot to work with. You know, we had some good times. But you just don't seem to be able to expand into the real world. Not in the way that counts. It's like you're looking at this person. I know you know what passion is, but you don't know much else. I have a lot more than just you to sustain. Your priorities are extremely straightforward. You are well developed, the Scorpio I'm looking at today. You did not stick around in this relationship confusing all that passion for love. You're a Scorpio who's been around the block then. You had your ass kicked a couple of times. Because it takes a lot of people to be able... I mean, it takes... Not a lot of people, but it takes a lot of experience to understand this feels really good. This feels really good. But it can't just be about me and how you get me off. Bravo. Bravo. Legitimacy. And I see you riding off into that particular sunset in a certain level of confidence. You gave this person a time marker, as far as I can tell, to kind of pony up the dough. As it being legitimate, you gave them a time marker, and I think you haven't approached that time marker yet, but it's on the precipice of it, I believe. For some of you, you started entering that energy around Leo season. And there's so much fire orientation. I could probably mark this back to Leo season, honestly, around July. And there's a lot of that here, too, I must say. I'm not knocking Leo. I'm just saying their energy is very large today. But yeah, so that timing is coming up soon. It's out of time. And I'm sorry this didn't work out. You're saying that. You're saying that to this person. I'm sorry this didn't work out, but I think we had enough room here to establish what this is and what it isn't. Very mature. Like I said, you're a developed Scorpio. Don't deviate from the script. You had your ass kicked a couple of times like that. You know. You'll know. But at least you were open about it. You were open-hearted, and you really did give this a fair shot. You did. You really did. And I don't blame you. The way they touch you, the way they look at you. Shit. Yeah, you're going to give that a couple months to see what's what. You know what I'm saying? Fuck yes. Look at that energy. Oh, wait, even they're like, stupid. How are you doing? You're not in a relationship with Scorpio. Are you out of your mind? You know? That's the kind of thing that's gonna hit them so hard one day. Oh my God. That's the energy I'll be reading a year from now, 2 years from now. I'm like, fuck. Why? Why? My intuition told me. So Scorpio wants the real deal. They want a family. What was wrong with me? What was so wrong? I could have had everything by now. That's what that's going to be. I'll be reading the same fool a couple of years from now, and they'll be asking themselves all that shit. But you know what? You don't want anyone to commit or put down more when they're not ready to, because then they'll flake out later if they didn't really mean it. So again, it's up to us as individuals to go by what we see, feel, and observe every day, which is exactly what you did. You employed all those skills, so once more, good for you. We can't always take, because their energy says, I'm here, I'm in it. But who they really were started to back out as soon as it started to having real talks. That's why we can't rely on other people to say absolutely this is correct for me. And you're like, well, I'm going to take your word for it, even though you've given me some question marks. No, that doesn't work out. That never works out. You got to listen to yourself first. So again, good job to you. Unexpected income, 37 clock, time's up. Okay, there it is. I'm seeing this more as what we've been seeing here today in terms of that sexual energy, is that there's the pentacle here. Is this something time's up? It's time to know, is this an exchange or not? Are we taking this further or not? There's the clock again, because I got family here. I'm telling you, you are very family-oriented, Scorpio, because that's where all this balance is coming from. Balance, balance, balance. It has to be real, real, real. You either have a family, as in children or dependents, or you want to create one. And you're like, I'm about the family structure. I have roots. I have priorities here other than just how much you can get me off, which is a lot, but that doesn't necessarily mean I can make roots out of that. Thank you. Right? I know, I'm the same way. It's like, I'm packing a tree here. I got a 10 of Pentacles thing going on. Are you like here today, gone tomorrow, or are you a roots guy too? That's kind of it. So it's like, yeah, you got to put a time marker on these things. Realistically speaking, and I know that seems anti-romantic, but when you have real priorities and family and shit, you got to start putting time markers on things, and you can't lose sight of your script, honey. So again, congratulations to you. Thank you, Spirit. I appreciate you backing me up. Yeah, some of you have a child. That's it. Long story short. So this is all well and good when you're young and you don't have those responsibilities and you just fire, passion, passion, passion all over the place. Wash the sheets at your leisure. Okay, but when you've got a family tree system, you got a 10 of Pentacles, you got 10 of Cups, you got things to balance, and you've got kids, it feels so good, but it carries you so far. So you tells me you have your priorities in order. You got your shit together. You're a mature Scorpio, man. Like, seriously, you got a house to maintain. All right, I got it. You got the responsibilities. You got the house, and you got the message of concern. You received something. There's that observation of data. It's like proof of stability or instability here. I got enough. We got enough. Move on. Yes, I see you marching towards new love and time. Not a problem. Stick to your script. Your script is good. It's strong. It's well written. You ought to know you wrote it. Okay? Okay. Yeah, you got priority. It's passion, honey. It was passion. I bet that was some of the most slamming piece you've ever had in your life. It looks slamming. It looks fun. I hope you had fun. Okay. But no, that's a lot of fire, and just take that with you. Take that with you. Maybe it was the energy charge you needed, but it's also not here to stay. It's something you need to free yourself. That's a little playpen, and you're too big for the playpen. You had your time in the playpen with all that fantastic passion. I got it. Okay, but it's not for you to maintain. Religious factors, we're looking, in this respect, it's commitment. This is the Hierophant energy. We're looking for something with more substance behind it, okay, in terms of commitment. Man, that was more than play, but I feel like this person, they're showing me that high level of passion energy, so that tells me that they're older and that they're very comfortable with their sexual energy, which is great, but they're not comfortable with their commitment self, the real world self. the mental self of commitment, because most of the commitment, by the way, comes from the mind. Okay. Committing to ourselves and what it is we believe in, that's a mental structure thing, but it also comes from a spiritual premise. So they got their passion in order. That's not an issue. When they're turned on, and they know it and they embrace it. So good for them. But the other pieces, no. No. Not at all. Okay. Yeah. So I think, like I said, that time marker is coming up soon, I believe. Yeah, not the waiting game. Don't play the waiting game. For some of you, it's by February. After the start of the new year. It's like we should know what's going on by the start of the year. So, like I said, some of you have just begun to enter this phase of we need to start defining things. Okay. In August, for some of you, that's around that Leo season, isn't it? No? I'm sorry. It's after a while, it all starts to merge. It really does. And it's Cancer, then it's Leo. So that Leo bleeding into Virgo season. There you go. Somewhere around there, I think, is when we started connecting to this. And you'll have an idea of what you're working with by the new year. Okay. Yeah, it's that would explain why the energy's getting colder. You're starting to see it more for what it is. Time has been delayed. Yeah, this is where I see you. And at some point you're saying, okay, time's up. We should know what we're doing by now. I'm disappointed. I'm sorry to say, but we've had more than enough room to understand if this is for us and if it's going somewhere. You know, that if it's going somewhere conversation. Okay. That was interesting. W, the letter W. Big heart. Yes, you do. I know. The thing is, honey, we're emotional investors, and the Ace of Cups is our master symbol, but the developed Scorpio understands that, well, we do have a huge heart, and therefore big sex behind it. We do. You also have the priority of understanding that there are other things in this life that you have to commit to. And the Scorpio I'm looking at says upper level development, family development is a priority. Okay, so abide by that. Okay, we also have the medallion here of Taurus. We have the goldfish of Pisces that's in the reverse. Someone who is not as in tune with their feelings as they ought to be. Heart with the nurse's cap in reverse. Somebody who kind of refuses to look at their heart, heal it, and understand it. Okay. Okay. The letter G. The deer, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, cat, the sign of intuition, and the stingray in reverse. We are no longer pursuing this. I am saying this is you. Stingray in reverse. No longer pursuing this. Okay. All right. That's enough. Yeah. Okay, we're good. We covered everything. This was really good. This was really straightforward. I could have easily shaved 13 minutes off of this. Easily. Could have stopped it at 40. I guess I just wanted to impress upon you how incredibly... You had all the elements here. I'm giving this a real shot, but I'm also looking at this realistically. Yes, you turn me on, and it's powerful, but I also can't neglect the fact that you're coming across as non-committal in very important areas in my life. I know what my worth and value is. Do you? Because this is where I need to go. Are you on board? I have to say, I'm very impressed. Very straightforward. I love it. Excellent. Yeah, you'll have that new love in time. There's no worry about that. That's, in fact, I don't know if you saw it or did I point it out. The more you transition out of this, the more you transition into the new thing. Pretty easily and cleanly. Okay. All right, very good. I hope this helped you. Put in the comments to see if it. Take care. Be well.